So if you haven't guessed it already, we're reviewing Furious 7, Paul Walker's last ride. But anyways, before we get ahead of ourselves, we are in car rev. You were like, rev you. Do you like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Cool.
I enjoyed it for being the movie that it is.
This movie had its work cut out, man. They had someone die, like, I don't know, maybe halfway through filming it. And then they had to, like, decide if they wanted to carry on with it or not. And then they did. So, I mean, after you see the movie, you can tell it took a toll. And they already said it did. But then to mention, like, the other shit that you'd have to do to try and put together a movie after losing a main... Like, he's the main character. The movie itself does get a little leeway. That's not to say it's a bad movie off the get anyways. I'm just telling you, you can tell it's a little slapped together and not in a... It's slapped together because it had to be, not because James Wan did a bad job.
I will admit that when I was watching this movie, I was mostly looking at Paul Walker's face the whole time, going, is that CGI'd? Is that CGI'd? Is that... How would this scene have been different? Because he's obviously dead here. How would it have been different?
Mm-hmm. But let's get this moving on a positive note, because this movie is nothing but, mostly positive, because it is kind of a sad movie. It's pretty frantic, and that could be due to the James Wan style, but I always kind of felt like that was the fast style, to be fast. Yeah, literally, fast everything furious. About it is like, boom, 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 going from one thing to the next, and the comedy's pretty on point, I'm not going to lie, a lot of the time.
Ludacris and Tyrese were pretty good in this movie.
Yeah, because sometimes the comedy in the fast movies is hit or miss. Like, you got your good comedy parts, and then you got your ones where they say stuff, and you're like, oh man, that totally fell. And you just have to be ready for that. And there are some in here.
I don't feel like there's as much in this one as there was in the last one.
People that are in it, Tony Jaa, he's in it. Jason Statham's in it. Kurt Russell's in it. They're all great. I liked them.
I really enjoyed Kurt Russell's part, and I liked Tony Jaa, and I like the fight between Paul Walker and Tony Jaa. And
I think I like that one better than the Vin Diesel and Jason Statham's.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I felt like
Jason
Statham was supposed to be a main villain in this movie, but I don't really even feel like he was in this movie. He was hunting them, but I feel like each time he showed up in the movie, it was like right when they were like walking out the door of where they were at. Like they were like, okay, we're done here. And Statham was like, I'm here too.
You're not done.
I'm here. And then in the end, there was like the fight scene between Statham and Diesel, and I was like,
It was dumb.
It was a cool idea.
It felt Dragon Ball Z-ish.
It was a cool idea, but I feel like when does a movie have to stop trying to top itself and just become its? I mean, like, you can do something different that's not topping yourself, but still cool. Right. If that makes sense.
Lethal Weapon did it. They didn't really top themselves. They just did a unique fight in a kind of a different way.
They did something different. But
it's not like they had to be on the Titanic as it was going down, fighting on icebergs. Like and
then have a car.
They just kept it in the realm, and I felt like this franchise keeps kind of going up
and making some really weird things happen.
There's a scene where a car's cornered on a desert cliffside.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, okay, how are they going to get out of this? And they're cornered. There's like enemy cars surrounding it, and then the cliffside's here, and the car's at the end of the cliffside, and they make, I don't really want to ruin it, they make the stupidest decision how to deal with that whole plan. There's so many other things they could have done. They could have tried to bash through the cars. They could have tried to do a whole bunch of stuff.
They could have taken less time doing what they ended up doing, too.
Yeah, and then what they end up doing, if you go and see it, you're like, why would you do that? But yeah, if you get past all that stuff, it's still a totally fun movie.
I wish Lucas Black was in this movie more. Hopefully
we totally thought he was going to be in it for like 30 or 40 minutes. I don't think he was going to have a main part, but something.
Yeah, I hope that he's in the next one. I really enjoyed this movie. I would say go see it in the theater, especially if you're a Fast fan. If you're not a Fast fan, go see it if you like action. Go see it if you want to see how they dealt with Paul Walker dying, because they did a marvelous job. Although, no, all those.
Even though chick drives behind a bike. Anyways, guys, I liked it. It's fun. Is it great? No. Are you going to enjoy it? Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and review it. I'm going to give it 8.5 fast cars at 10. Wang, 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 bro. You know?
I don't have friends. I got family.
Anyways, like, subscribe, cha-cha-cha, meow. You know what I mean?
Yep. I was doing the meows and the
Yeah.
stuff. So let's get out of here.